Picture a conference room you will never sit in. The door is closed. On the table, a stack of one-page cases, a spreadsheet of names, and a hard number. How many promotions this org slice can afford this cycle? Managers and leaders argue about scope, impact, and who is already operating at the next level. Your name may be in that stack. You will not be invited to explain yourself. The room decides titles. Most people only meet the outcome, a yes, a no, or a not this cycle, that arrives months later with no map of why. That gap between effort and title is where careers feel unfair. Sometimes the unfairness is personal. Often it is structural. Level bars, nomination windows, calibration norms, and budget slots you cannot see from your desk. Waiting to be picked is guessing at that structure. This video walks the structure, so the outcome stops feeling random, without resume tricks or salary promises. Start with the story most workplaces tell, and the process most workplaces actually run. The merit story says the best worker gets promoted when they deserve it. It sounds clean. It fails quietly. Deserve it has no calendar. Deserve it has no packet format. Deserve it assumes your manager's private opinion is the final court. In a mid-size or large company, promotion is a timed decision. There is a written bar for the next level. There is evidence that must exist before nominations open. There is a committee that compares candidates you never meet. And there is often a fixed number of slots, not an unlimited supply of titles for everyone who worked hard. Merit treats your output as obvious. The process treats your output as documented. Goals, peer feedback, cross-team impact, or it does not exist in the room. Merit puts the call on a manager's mood after a good quarter. The process puts the final call in calibration, where managers defend or lose cases against other teams. If you only prepare for the merit story, you will be shocked by the process. If you prepare for the process, you can still care about merit. You just stop confusing the two. Here is the level ladder. Scope bars, not badge titles. Current level means execute defined work streams, receive direction, ship, hit quality. Real work, not automatically the next level. The next bar means owning a work stream end-to-end. Direction, partners, trade-offs, outcomes others can cite without you in the room. Proof means months at that bar, not a heroic sprint before nominations. The rubric is the written language of those bars. Senior is already doing the next scope, often quietly, while still carrying the old title. Companies differ on labels: associate, senior, staff, principal. But the pattern repeats. Each rung widens the surface area of ownership. Climbing without widening scope is how people get stuck. Widening scope without documenting it is how people get overlooked. Match your last 6 months to the next rung, not the current one. If you cannot point to end-to-end ownership, partners who saw it, and outcomes that outlived a single task list, you are still on the current bar, even if you feel busy. Now the promotion calendar. How packets actually move through the org. Nomination window. HR or talent opens a cycle, often once or twice a year. Managers submit cases in that window. Miss it, and even a strong case waits for the next cycle. That is why I will talk to my manager sometime fails. Sometime is not a gate. Calibration. Managers and leaders sit together, normalize ratings, debate scope, and rank who gets the limited slots. You are not in this room. Your packet is. A manager who never submits you is a system block. A manager who submits you with a thin packet loses to a better documented peer on another team. Executive approval. Headcount and budget sign-off against the ranked list. A calibration win can still die if the org slice has no slot. Effective date. Communicated promotions land on a calendar, often January or July. The day you had a great sprint is not the day the title changes. Knowing the calendar lets you prepare in July for an October window, instead of panicking in September. What must be in the packet before that room opens? Scope proof, a before and after level map. Projects, metrics, and partners who saw you drive outcomes. Manager nomination. A written case for why you meet the bar now, not soon. Peer and partner signal. Comments that name you as driver, not helper. Sponsor weight. A senior advocate outside your daily chain who will speak when your name comes up. Calibration ready format. One dense page the committee can compare side by side with other nominees. Dense evidence beats a long story. Long stories get skimmed. One-page maps get argued over. Remember, you are not in that room. Your packet is. Everything that follows is about what the paper can defend when you cannot speak. Look at the contrast between a thin packet and a strong one. A thin packet says, works hard, great teammate, ready for more. A strong packet says, owned pricing from question to decision. 3 partner quotes name them as driver. Scope matches the next level rubric language. Same person can produce either packet. The room only sees the paper. If your manager asks for a case and you hand them vibes, they cannot fight for you in calibration, even when they want to. Walk a concrete example. A senior analyst targeting the next level at a mid-size company. July. They find the level rubric on the internal wiki and read the next level literally. The bar requires owning a workstream end-to-end, not only executing weekly tasks. August and September. They lead a pricing analysis that changes a product decision. 3 peer comments in the performance system name them as the driver. October. The manager submits nomination with a 1-page scope map before the window closes. Before versus after level, projects, metrics, partner names. November. Calibration. Another team's nominee led a visible launch. The committee asks whose scope was broader company-wide. The packet with partner quotes wins the slot. January. One promotion is approved for that org slice. The effective date lands with compensation aligned to the new band, a separate system we cover elsewhere. Notice the preparation started in July, not the week nominations opened. That cycle worked because preparation started in July, not the night before nominations. Timing is part of the system, not a personality trait. When cycles are tight, 3 pressures pull at once. Scope. Doing work at the next level, not only extra hours at the current one. Visibility. The right leaders and partners can describe your impact without you in the room. Timing. Cycles, budgets, and reorgs close windows. Missing the window is not the same as missing the bar. Heavy scope with 0 visibility loses in calibration. Loud visibility with no scope bar met loses on merit. Perfect timing with a thin packet loses to someone who prepared in July, not the night before nominations. You rarely max all 3. Choose deliberately before the cycle closes. Even a strong case can empty itself before it reaches calibration. Watch for the traps that look like patience and feel like progress. 3 traps empty a strong case before it reaches the room. Waiting to be asked. No rubric, no evidence doc, surprise when nominations open. Invisible wins. Great work only a desk neighbor knows. Title without scope. Promoted in name, still slotted as the old level. Ask your manager. If calibration were tomorrow, what would the nomination need to say? And what is missing on the page today? Then build that page. Promotions are a process with a ladder, a calendar, a packet, and trade-offs. Not a secret club. Next, performance reviews. The system that feeds the packet, not the script people rehearse. Subscribe to How Work Works